This hangout on air is live. I'm Rebecca Bradley, this is the Crime Book Club, and it's October 2014, and this month we're discussing Crossbones Yard by Kate Rhodes. You will hear a bit of background noise this month because Margot is in the airport. So you will hear that.
Sorry.
No, as we've said, that's great. And as you've just said, Margot, that's the great thing about the book club now is anybody can join in wherever you are. So if anybody fancies joining in when they're on their travels, then everybody's more than welcome, aren't they? Has everybody read it?
Yeah.
Yes. I have.
What did you think?
I liked the main character. I did like Alice. I can't say, honestly, that I was overly drawn in by the story, I'm sorry to say. It wasn't that I hated it. I just didn't get drawn in.
What stopped you being drawn in, do you think?
I think it was once I got into it a little bit and I saw the threatening notes and all those other things, it just felt all too familiar. It just felt like I've read this before. Maybe it's just my opinion. Everyone feels differently, but I felt that there wasn't anything innovative, really, that really grabbed me. But that's just my view. It wasn't bad, though.
What about everybody else?
Yeah, I have to say I had a little bit of that feeling as well. I've seen it all before. I kind of know where this is heading, even without any spoilers. The whole who's the bad guy and so on felt like something that I'd come across before in crime fiction. But the thing that I did like about it was that I think she actually writes really well. So I thought it was the inexperience perhaps of being the first book, the first time writer, where she sort of felt I have to add all of those plot elements to it and I have to make sure that I have enough of a story. But actually I thought the atmosphere that she created was quite well done.
She did. I like her writing style. Some of the and I did think Alice's character was well drawn, strong without being unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
All that sort of thing. As I said, I didn't think it was bad. It's just, perhaps you're right, Marina. Perhaps it was just, Rhodes finding her way, sort of figuring out what her voice will be.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Denise and Steph?
I loved it. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, everything had been done before, but it doesn't matter. It was combined in a different way. It worked. It might have been that I really identified with her because she's a runner. I don't know. And I thought she was seriously messed up. And I really liked that because I thought it made her really perfectly imperfect. I thought it was excellent. I really liked it. I was talking to Stephanie. We quite often talk about the books. And I was just astounded how much I liked it. I hadn't expected to like it so much. So I keep messing with my screen because it keeps going a bit weird today. For some reason, it's not fitting properly.
No, you look okay here.
Okay.
Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Okay.
Hi, Margot.
Just to let you know, if you can hear the background noise, it's Margot's fault.
Right. Leave it all on me.
She's
Don't make so much of an effort to be at the meeting, Rebecca.
I was just about to say she's made a huge effort and she's sat in an airport. She's joining the book club from an airport.
Margot.
So yeah. So that's what the noise is.
You look like you're in a basement. You're in a really dodgy basement somewhere.
Nope. But I could make a really good crime story from this setting. I really could.
Well, I wonder what your fellow airline passengers are wondering what you're talking about.
Once you start mentioning bodies and
Yes. We'll leave the conversation to Margot, shall we?
No, thank you. Let's get back to Crossbones Yard if we could, please.
So, yeah, Denise, when you mentioned the running, I just thought, yes, she did an awful lot of running, and it just made me feel so guilty.
Yeah, but it wasn't exercise for her, it was escape, wasn't it? It was her therapy.
Yeah.
So she had an awful lot to be running from.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think, Mel, of the book?
I didn't love it, I have to say. I liked it. I thought she built suspense really, really well, and it was definitely one that kept me turning the pages. But I'm a bit possibly over the whole subgenre of mutilating and killing women. So I sort of had a problem with the subject matter from the start. Yeah. I don't know, how did you feel about that subject matter, everyone else?
Yeah, that hasn't been brought up yet. What did everybody think of that?
Yeah.
Sorry, who did I overtalk then?
History. I thought it was nicely laid out with her history and the history of the book and the way it all kind of neatly slotted together. I wouldn't say I was particularly comfortable about it. I certainly didn't read the prequel to the book. I read the first page and thought, I'm not reading this, and went on to the second chapter like I do sometimes, and because I didn't need to know all of that, because I thought she was perfectly strong enough in herself as a character. But actually, it was uncomfortable, but crime novels aren't supposed to be comfortable. If we find them comfortable to read, perhaps there's something that says a lot about us, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys come to say hi quickly.
Hello.
He's got a lot of problems since the last time you guys saw him.
He has. He'll be joining us soon. You'll be joining us soon.
Margot's in the States. She's at an airport waiting to go fly somewhere. Where are you flying, Margot?
I just landed actually in Denver.
Oh, there you go. She just landed in Denver.
Denver.
Maria, are you in Germany, Maria?
no, France.
France. Mel's in Australia, where Sarah lives. Yeah. Everybody else, the rest of us in the UK, we're boring.
Yeah. We're all stuck here in the rain.
Alright,
Where
so
I live,
we're all
the
out
rain
of spot. He's gone. He's off to eat something for a change. It's been at least an hour.
Oh, gaming.
Oh, no,
What did you think, Steph?
No, he's off gaming now. It's reading time.
Oh, is it?
And Margot's airport announcement. Whenever you're ready, Margot.
You know, I'm going to leave.
No, don't. What did you think, Steph?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it has all been done before, and I did guess who it were fairly early on. But I did like the story. I liked her and Lola, her friend. But I liked the humour as well when it was talking about like the way London, like tourists to London are conned and like things like that. I thought it was really good and very easy and quick to read. Because I was on the last minute because I was convinced it was next week.
And I just completely forgot about it, so Stephanie and I were doing our panic.
Yeah. Oh my god, oh my god.
It's unusual for us to like Stephanie and I to both like the same book, though. That doesn't happen that often, does it, Stephanie? So it's funny because everybody else seems to be not as keen on it.
Well, no, I actually, what was it, when it appeared, was it in 2012, I think, I actually had my eyes on Kate Rhodes because I think she will go on to write great things. So I thought she's a very promising author. And I do think, I don't know, maybe I'm subjective because she's a poet, but I just thought she has it in her to evolve, and because I did think it was good characterization. I mean, I really liked her friend as well, as Steph mentioned. She's
I like Lola very
much as well, yeah. So and it didn't feel like the other characters were flat in any way. So it was a little bit predictable. There were a couple of stereotypes and there was some predictability in it. But there were some things there. There was enough there that made me curious to see how she would evolve as an author.
That's how I feel. I mean, I would certainly read another novel by her. I would certainly read the next to see how she's going along. You know, this one, I admit, didn't keep me up all night reading and excited, but that doesn't mean I thought it was bad or that she's not skilled. It's just... I think Marina's probably right. She's going to evolve. She's going to probably be quite one to watch.
Do you think that Alice actually had enough of a role within the investigation, within the book? Do you think that is one of the problems that didn't keep you hooked, is that she didn't have enough of a role?
Well, speaking only for me, I don't think it was that. I just think I picked up too quickly where it was going, or more quickly than I would have wanted where it was going. But that's just me.
Yeah, and I think there was a little bit too much. I felt it was faltering a little bit between being too much of Alice's story and her being almost too involved in the whole thing, and it being a straightforward investigation. So it just felt a little bit ambiguous there. Whose story is it actually? However, having said that, what you were saying about the how we feel, and Mel, that you were saying about the violence against women, I mean, I'm starting to get a little bit sick of that as well, of it appearing over and over again, almost voyeuristic. But I thought that this was actually done with a lot of compassion, you know, when she talks about that Crossbones Yard itself and all of the prostitutes and things that died there in the centuries, and the sort of ghosts of that place and the atmosphere of that place. I thought that was actually quite sensitively done.
Because the character herself had empathy and for the women themselves, rather than just looking at them as pieces of evidence.
Yeah.
And I think it was also saved from falling into that trap because Alice is a strong character, and so is Lola, and so you didn't have these weak, oh, save me, stereotypical victims.
Yeah.
So, in relation to her two romantic liaisons, we've got Sean and we've got Ben Alvarez. What did we think of those two characters?
I didn't care for any of them. I thought they were both controlling, and it was like you hear stories about people going for abusers when they've been in abused families, and I just felt that's what they were both like, both controlling.
But that was perfect, didn't you think? Because it fit Alice. It was true to character all the way through. I thought the writer was. I thought she was very clever. But
Yeah.
I thought she put a lot of work into that.
Good point with the psychology side of that, then.
Mm-hmm. The airport finished?
How do you think Will's mental health was handled?
Whose mental health?
Will's. The brother. That was a big issue.
As an issue in the whole book?
Yeah, that was a big issue within the book.
No, but I mean, how do you think it was handled? Handled by who?
Within the book. No, within the book by the author. I think it was Sharon.
I liked the.
I think she was hearing it. Do you think that the author has some background in psychology, or?
I think I read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that I liked the relationship that Alice has with him, because it shows that, you know, compassion and love, but at the same time, the frustration that I'm sure is quite natural. She's not exactly proud of it, but I think that's very human.
Yeah, I imagine it's difficult when it's a member of your family and they're so extreme, as extreme as Will was.
Yeah.
And it's also quite nice that she doesn't try to tie up all the loose ends. So there's a lot there that we can feel in their relationship. A lot implied or unspoken, a lot of things that they haven't really addressed. And I quite like that. It sort of hints at more to come in the future, or perhaps not. But you know, she just doesn't feel the need to kind of spell it all out in great detail. So I like that sort of hidden depth there.
I like it. I think it's human. I mean, I think that's how relationships really are.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
are tied in packages.
I really like the relationship between Lola and Will as well. I thought that showed a really Lola at times could seem a bit of a drop kick, you know, she sort of makes all this mess and keeps Alice awake and does all these things, but she's got this really sweet, caring side to her at the same time, and that sort of brings something good out in Will that other people aren't able to do for some reason. So I think that's got potential to develop as well further down the track.
Yeah,
that was the only thing that made me like Lola, because actually I thought she was like everybody else in Alice's life, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Including Will, but I thought that her relationship with Will was really interesting, actually, because it showed a depth to her that I didn't think she had. I thought she's quite shallow, actually, but perhaps not. Like the person in the meeting with the airport there.
No, I'm just waiting until it's time to go get my shuttle.
Were you satisfied with the ending, the way it was tied up and finished?
No, I wanted Ben to be perfect man. Just because I didn't like him didn't mean I didn't want him to be perfect for her.
Yeah, it did seem a bit of a love story book at some points during it, and I wondered what kind of book I was reading.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I wasn't so sure I liked that thread of it, but then I think any kind of romance has to be threaded in very carefully in a crime novel. It can be there,
Yeah.
and I've read some excellent ones, but I'm really wary of that. I didn't think it needed to be there, but again, this is just, how I feel.
What also, just from a practical, call me too scientifically minded, but I thought from a practical point of view, there were all of these psychologist friends who actually knew the chap. And again, I want to avoid spoilers, so I won't mention the name. So they knew him, they treated him, whatever, and nobody realized.
Yeah.
They kept recommending him as being so suitable for her. It really made me question their psychological ability.
Skills. That crossed my mind as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how realistic that was.
Can't sociopaths hide that? So perhaps good at hiding it. Who knows? I'm still cross because he should have been perfect for her, even if he wasn't a perfect person. Feel jilted. I like a bit of romance, me. There's not enough romance in this world.
It did get a bit romantic, that book, in places.
See, and I have to admit that was one of the things I wasn't too keen on. It's just, maybe I define crime novel a little too narrowly. I don't think I do, but I'm just not one for a real dose of romance in one. I don't know.
Maybe she'll become a cross-genre author.
Could be.
Perhaps she'll start a new genre of romantic crime.
Cromance.
Brilliant.
I think it can work in some novels, but I think this novel was just too intense and too dark, and I think a romance kind of just didn't quite fit the tone in that one. Maybe in a lighter kind of crime novel it would have worked, but it just didn't quite ring true somehow.
Yeah. How did she have the time amongst all that doom and gloom that was happening to?
Yeah.
Quite so romantic.
I have to say the one that I sort of lighter touch was the romance of Lola and the Swedish guy. Was he Swedish?
Oh.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Yeah.
And them bothering poor Alice, with the noise at night, and then turning out his background, as it gets investigated. That was quite a nice sort of humorous touch.
Yes.
But and it's realistic. I mean, you could see it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Lars. All he did was smile.
I don't think that's all he did.
Well, as far as we saw, that's all he did. So, one other guy that I'm not sure we talked about, the main detective, Burns. He was an odd chap.
What did you say? All I heard was something chap.
Burns was an odd chap, the main detective, the lead detective. I'm not sure he was fit for duty.
Oh, definitely not.
But somehow you didn't get. I didn't get tired of him. Somehow I didn't mind him. No, not fit for duty, but I didn't mind him.
I think in the next ones he sort of starts playing more of a key role. So the actual sort of detecting duo then becomes Alice and him. But he didn't make a huge impression on me in this one. He was almost like a, quite retreating in the background a little bit, wasn't he?
Unable to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was quite good at going and getting Alice going, come on, I'm going, come on.
Yes.
He could be in charge when he wanted to be.
Yeah. I thought he shouldn't be there, but he was in the middle of losing weight, so by the next book he's probably lost it all then and is capable of leading an investigation.
I thought he might be going to develop into some kind of father figure somehow, but that seemed at one point to be the way it was headed, but that didn't quite happen. So I don't know if that happens in the next books. Bearing in mind her background, I thought maybe that's why he was sort of there.
Probably. And particularly how badly this book went for her. It's probably, you're right, the way that it's going to end up going. So was everybody satisfied with the ending? Other than Denise, who wanted them to ride off into the sunset.
Exactly, I wanted to wait.
No. I didn't really like the ending. I guessed quite early on who it was, but I kept reading because I wanted to know why, and I didn't really feel that, apart from the obvious, well, this terrible thing happened, and therefore he became unhinged and felt the need to kill women. I didn't really feel that was explained in enough detail for me. I sort of wanted to know a bit more about why this had happened to him, and why he went down that path.
Yeah. So it's a mixed bag tonight for enjoying the book and not so much. Because a couple of you have really enjoyed it and still not so much.
Yeah.
I'll definitely read another of her novels, just to see how it goes and to see if, a lot of people's first novels don't turn out to be their best. Some do. And I think Marina had one of the most salient points, which is this is a new author finding what kind of author she's going to be.
I do tend to like crime fiction with female leads.
Yeah.
For some reason, I do seem drawn to those. For instance, I'm currently working my way through the Ellie Griffiths series.
Yeah.
And then there's the S.J. Bolton one that I want to do after that. I've read the first one in that, and then I do like Alice Quentin, and I'll probably see what the next one is like.
Yeah. I would just have a slight. Oh, sorry. I just have a slight issue with do they have to be quite so damaged? And have things in their background that makes them vulnerable, and I mean, Alice is pretty strong, pretty resilient considering what she's gone through, but I just wish that we could have a nice sort of more normal character, who's a strong woman without having had to suffer so much.
Yeah, somebody that can just walk into a lift, and a lift is just a lift.
Yeah.
And who goes home and cooks for the family, kind of thing.
Yeah. But so definitely a mixed bag then. This one, but promising.
Yeah.
For a series.
Yeah. Yeah.
That yes.
Yeah. And she really knows her London, I have to say. I felt like I was right back there, and it was, getting a bit nostalgic and missing London. It was, it put me, in the mood to visit.
I'm glad you brought that up, because with Denise bringing up the running, the setting of London was just fantastic.
Mm.
As
I
a
agree.
character of its own, it was just absolutely amazing.
I agree 100%. That's one of the things that I was really impressed by.
I have never seen a setting done to the extent, because she was a runner, the route plans or the cycling routes that she did, to the extent that she put it there.
And it didn't feel contrived either, you know. Let's put a bit of London in to show that it's London. It really felt natural.
That was a really strong positive sense of place with the book. And I think that probably added that depth, and is something that is really strong about it, that held it. It's kind of the glue that held it.
It was good.
I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up actually, Marina, because I had been thinking that, and I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, and there's that along the river at night, especially on the southern side, there is that sort of slightly ominous atmosphere that she conveys. It's that sort of orangey light, and she just conveys that so well. So, you know, I live south of the river, I know that area, so yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, well, as somebody that doesn't go down there very often and certainly hasn't explored it particularly, I really got a feel for the areas that she was in. So I did think it was good. Yeah. So brilliant. Anything else that we've missed or anybody wants to say about this? We've got one viewer. I don't know how, because I've not put a link out. It's on my Google Hangout. Google Plus. So hello, viewer. Have we missed anything that anybody wants to talk about that we've not already brought up? No. Has everybody voted? Because for next month, I thought you had. It's 2 votes for each book.
Oh.
So I've done my bit of paper already.
Casting vote, then.
So I've done my bit of paper in preparation already. No, I don't like to be the casting vote.
No, but I love it that you're so prepared.
I'd sit here panicking about what's going to go wrong. I'm a born worrier.
I know what you mean. I'm doing a work Friday.
You're doing what on Friday?
A workshop.
Friday, yeah.
All right.
Right, I've got no idea what those are now, so I'm going to pick one because you can't.
No, can't see.
Is it?
Dominion?
What is it?
Can't see it.
Dominion. Okay.
Oh, yay! It was such a long time on my Kindle, and I haven't read it. So.
So the next meeting is Wednesday, 19th of November at 8 o'clock GMT. And then we're into December. Do you want another Christmas month? Or do you want something different?
Christmas.
Christmas reads.
Christmas.
You want Christmas reads again? What? Wintry, Christmassy crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you aiming for something sort of more cozy, or?
Yes.
No.
Because
That's
the
the
last one we had a rather
is
grim one, didn't we? For
We
Christmas?
did.
That's right.
As I did
The Three Pigs Detective Agency. That's a humorous crime all around Christmas type thing.
What did you just nominate there, Denise?
The Three Pigs Detective Agency. They've got a couple of books, and they're HarperCollins, The Friday Project. Very good.
because what I tried to do this month was pick 3 different kinds so there was a choice, and I'll do that for December as well, and I'll include that one.
Sounds good.
There's three that were Rebecca. They're on my Goodreads. Bob Burke, I think, wrote them.
All right, I'll have a look.
I might lie. I might have to tweet you later with the truth.
All right. So we are going to have a Christmas reads for December then.
Good.
And I'll just check how close to Christmas we are for December. The 3rd Wednesday, it's the 17th, so we'll be fine, won't we?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
17th rings a bell. Hold on, let me just. Not that the whole world revolves around me, but.
But it's not too close to Christmas. But I know there'll be Christmas parties and things going on.
No, there's nothing. I don't know why it rings a bell.
Okay. Anyway, next month, because I know a couple of you were confused about this month, it's the 3rd Wednesday of every month, so it's the 19th at 8 p.m. GMT.
Who wrote Dominion?
Dominion. CJ Sanson. And I will send the newsletter out and do the blog post in the morning.
Okay.
If anybody wants to nominate a Christmas book before, I usually put it up a week before the next meeting, so let me know before then. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Margot, for making the effort from the airport.
Yeah, thank you, Margot.
Making so much noise.
Yes. It's been great as usual. Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.